Khadijah bint Khuwaylid, R.A., a wealthy widow of the Quraysh tribe, had inherited a successful business from her father. Known as At-Tahira, the Pure One, she would hire traders to manage her merchandise. Upon learning of the Prophet's honesty and excellent character, she sent him a proposal to manage her trade to Syria, offering him better wages than others. The Prophet, with the advice of his uncle, accepted the offer and embarked on the journey with her servant Seerah. Upon returning from the trip, Khadijah, R.A., observed unprecedented blessings and profit in her trade. After hearing about the Prophet's virtues and character from Seerah, she became convinced that he was the perfect life partner she had been seeking. At the time, the Prophet was 25 years old, while Khadijah, R.A., was either 28 or 40, according to various reports. Inspired by his noble qualities, she sent a marriage proposal through her friend Nafisa bint Munya. The Prophet expressed his consent, and his uncle Hamza, R.A., arranged the marriage. The ceremony was attended by prominent members of the Quraysh. The dowry, according to different accounts, was 20 camels for 100 dinars or 500 dirhams. After their marriage, the Prophet moved to Khadijah's, R.A., house. She presented him with a servant, Zayd bin Haritha, R.A., who later became one of the Prophet's closest companions. Zayd's story is remarkable. He had been kidnapped in his childhood and sold into slavery. Khadijah's nephew gifted him to her, and she gave him to the Prophet. When Zayd's family discovered his whereabouts, they came to take him back. However, Zayd chose to stay with the Prophet, who publicly declared him as his adopted son in front of the Quraysh at the Kaaba. Khadijah, R.A., was the Prophet's first wife, and he remained married to her exclusively until her passing. All of the Prophet's children, except Ibrahim, R.A., were born to Khadijah, R.A. They were Qasim, R.A., Zainab, R.A., Ruqayya, R.A., Kulthum, R.A., Fatima, R.A., and Abdullah, R.A. All sons passed away in childhood. Among the daughters, Fatima, R.A., survived the Prophet by 6 months, while the others passed away during his lifetime. The dispute over the black stone and the appointment of the Prophet as arbitrator. When the Prophet was 35 years old, the Quraysh began rebuilding the Kaaba. The reason for this was that the Kaaba was in a dilapidated state. It was a low wall with no roof, originally built during the time of Prophet Ismail, A.S., and was only about 9 hands in height. Over time, the building had deteriorated, and its walls had cracked. That year, a severe flood occurred, which was directed towards the Kaaba. It was feared that the Kaaba might collapse at any moment, so the Quraysh were compelled to rebuild it to maintain its prestige and significance. During this period, a Roman ship was struck by a storm and crashed at the port of Shuaibah, the old name for Jeddah. The Quraysh learned about the incident and decided to purchase the planks of the ship to use in the construction of the Kaaba. Among the survivors of the storm was a skilled Egyptian carpenter who offered his services for the construction. Additionally, there was a carpenter in Mecca who could assist with the work. At this point, the Quraysh made a collective decision to ensure that only lawful funds would be used in the Kaaba's reconstruction. They agreed not to use money earned through immoral activities, such as the wages of prostitutes, interest, or any stolen wealth. To make the task easier, the work was divided among the different clans. The construction of the door wall was assigned to Banu Abd Manaf and Banu Zurah, the wall between the black stone, Hajar al-Aswad, and the Yemeni corner was assigned to Banu Maqsam and Banu Taym, and the back wall was given to Banu Sam and Banu Hamer. The task of constructing the side of the Kaaba known as the Hatim was assigned to Banu Abd al-Dar, Banu Asad, and Banu Adi. In order to start the new construction, it was necessary to demolish the old structure. However, the people feared tearing down the old building due to the recent memory of the king of Yemen, Abraha, who had come with elephants to destroy the Kaaba but had met a disastrous end. Finally, it was Walid bin al-Mughira of the Maqsam clan who took the initiative and said, "O Allah, we intend nothing but good." He then began tearing down some of the corners. When no calamity befell him, Others followed suit, and by the time they reached the foundations of the Kaaba, the demolition was complete and construction began. As the walls were built up to the height where the black stone would be placed, a fierce dispute broke out among the tribes. Each tribe wanted the honor of placing the black stone in its rightful position. The dispute escalated to the point where swords were drawn. It was customary among the Arabs that when someone swore an oath to fight, they would dip their fingers in a bowl of blood. Some of the claimants even performed this ritual. The dispute continued for 4 days, with work halted. On the 5th day, the elder of the Quraysh, Abu Umayyah bin al-Mughira, suggested that the first person to enter through the Bab Banu Shaiba, the door of Banu Shaiba, in the morning should be chosen as an arbitrator. All the tribes agreed to this suggestion.